Welcome back to On the Wild, episode number 31. I'm Anuj Basker. Joined with me, as always, Riley Keenan. We have a very special guest today. We have Jelani Goodridge-Reid. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on the show, boys.
Thanks for
coming. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, a little bit of a background of how we've met, Jelani. It was kind of, at first, it was we both were accepted into a mentorship program. Mm-hmm. And through that, we built kind of a relationship through Instagram. Just kind of going back and forth on IG. We're both huge sports fans. Obviously, he is a sport media student as well. He's going into your fourth year, so You're almost done.
Almost there, man. Almost there. Almost out of there.
But also, you're a huge Cowboys fan.
Of course.
Huge Cowboys fan. Hey, and this is our last week of our NFL division breakdowns. And we're doing the NFC East today, so we thought who better than to have Jelani on today. And we'll just start it off with your Cowboys, man. What do you think of the Cowboys, and what do you think they're going to do this year?
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the show to talk about my boys. Anyone that knows me knows, I'm the biggest Cowboys fan in the country. But I'm not, look, you guys don't know me that well, but I'll tell you this. I'm not a delusional Cowboys fan, okay? I'm not the one that says, we're going to the Super Bowl. Nah. We start from square one, okay? Last year, what did we see from our team? We saw, of course, Dak got hurt. That hurt the whole team, messed up everything, all our plans whatsoever. But it was the defense, okay? I've played football as well. I've played on the defensive side of the football. I know how to tackle. Our defense couldn't tackle. Our defense couldn't commit turnovers, couldn't do anything last year. And we saw that, okay? We ranked in the basement in yards allowed, points allowed, rushing yards allowed, pass, like everything, you name it, our team struggled in, okay? Worst stats for our team in team history in terms of defense. So when we're looking at this season, that's the point of emphasis. What can this defense do? You bring a new defensive coordinator in, Dan Quinn, okay? That should mean improvement, I'd say, but it's hard to tell. We have a young defense. A lot of rookies are on that team. I think 8 of our selections this year were on defense, right?
Yeah, pretty sure they are.
6 in a row.
All of their selections were defensive players, right?
Yeah, because you got to put the focus there, right? The offense, I'm not really worried about, but it's the defense. What can we do? Because we'll be in shootouts with a lot of teams, but I don't feel comfortable with our secondary. I'm just going to be honest, right? Right now we're young. Diggs, I think he's really good, Trevon Diggs, but he's young, right? Kelvin Joseph comes in, but I wanted a guy like Patrick Surtain for our secondary. That still hurts me till this day that we didn't get him in the draft. But we got Parsons, though. I think Parsons is going to be a candidate for defensive.
Parsons is good, bro. Like,
he's a beast.
I watched him in the preseason. He looked good.
Yes. So he's going to be a bright spot for us defensively. But there's so many holes, and in this league, you need defense. Okay. What I'm going to say though is this: if they're mediocre, then we can win the division. If they're mediocre, that's all you don't need to be the 85 Bears. Okay. You don't have to be the 2000 Ravens. Just make your tackles, try to commit, enforce more turnovers than last year, because those were nowhere to be found. And offensively, I mean, Dak comes back, and that's huge. A lot of people are talking about the shoulder, that whole thing right now. I think he's fine. I'm listening
today.
Yeah, I'm listening to the Cowboy sources, okay? A lot of these other sources from ESPN, I'm not trying to at anybody, but they're talking about, it's going to linger, blah, blah, blah. Stop it. Listen to the Cowboy sources. He's going to be fine. All right, he's going to be fine. You have Lamb, who, again, what a steal. CeeDee Lamb, shout out to CD. You got Cooper. You got Gallup, one of the more underrated receivers in the league on that offense. I think you have a trio that could make things work. And then you got Ezekiel Elliott, my guy. I think he's looking great. He's looking in great shape. And he understands last year wasn't his best year, and he was fumbling football a lot last year. I think he's coming with a new energy this year. And that's what we need. Because it's not just going to be the passing game. We need the running game. And the one problem that I see on offense is the O-line. They're older. Okay. It's not like the mid 2010s when we were the best in the league. They're a bit older. Smith, Martin, those guys. Collins coming back off of injury. Can we stay healthy? But all things considered, I do see us really with Washington in this division because we have the roster. Like, we have the roster, but we say that every year that Dallas has the roster.
Right.
Can the defense? It's the defense. Can they do enough to help us out?
Yeah, for sure. I was going to say, like, the 6 consecutive defensive picks was huge. Also picking up Keanu Neal. And yes, you mentioned getting Dan Quinn as defensive coordinator. Me and Anuj always joke around about, his Falcons and my Browns having weird connections. Neal and Quinn with the Cowboys now. So
right.
What do you think about Neal? Yeah. What do you think about Neal's addition to the Cowboys, though?
I like it. I saw something the other day that he's been the highest ranked linebacker by PFF in the preseason so far.
Wow.
So he's looked really he looks really good. They're playing that linebacker, which I wanted Atlanta to do that ever since he tore his ACL the first time, but they didn't do it. It seemed just like a lot of things that Dan Quinn's doing now. It's just everything he didn't do in Atlanta, like switching to a 3-4 front, doing a lot of things that I wanted him to do when he was Atlanta's coach. He's doing it now. But I think he's a good defensive coordinator. We saw that in Seattle. Obviously, they had a lot of talent in Seattle. Yeah, it's hard to kind of mess that up when you have what they had in the secondary and what they had up front. But I think he'll improve their defense. He's a player's coach, so I think players will connect with him a lot better. I think a lot of the players they have kind of fit with what he likes to do. Jalen Smith, a lot of speed. He values that a lot. So I think Dallas' defense will improve. I don't think they'll be like a top defense, but they don't have to be, like you said, Jelani. They just have to be decent, and their offense will take it from there. A bend but don't break defense, which is what Dan Quinn does. A lot of cover 3, a lot of once the team gets into the red zone, holding the field goals, and the offense will take it from there. They have a good enough offense to do that too. So.
And like you said, getting Tyron Smith, getting Zach Martin, La'el Collins, all of them back, that's certainly going to ease Dak Prescott back in the lineup. Like if they say it's lingering, like the pressure isn't going to be as much as it was last year with those guys gone. And just with the offensive lineman back, it's going to make Ezekiel Elliott that much better. He did have a down year, but he's going to be right back at the top of the ranks with the running backs in the league.
I agree. I think also people forget that Zeke has been the most consistent running back since he's entered the NFL. So he's been fine. I think he's going to have a great year this year. But the one thing I'll say offensively, though, that bothered me last year was we couldn't finish our drives. Okay, you get in the red zone and we're always kicking field goals. That's not going to work. Okay, that's also why we didn't do anything last year. We need to convert on third down. We suck at that on both sides of the ball, actually. And also, we need to have, games where we're starting off fast. We played from behind all the time last year, and we saw what happened. When you play from behind, you're going to lose, right? Yeah. Because you're always trying to keep up and stuff like that. Yes, we have the offense to keep up, but when you're down 2 touchdowns in the first quarter or in the first half, that's not going to do anything for you. So that's what I'm looking forward to this year, to see if this offense, who has a training camp under them now, who has preseason under them now, can they, manage in those situations like third down and red zone?
And I have a question for you. What do you think of Mike McCarthy? Do you like him? Because me personally, I'm not a huge fan of his.
Me neither.
I mean, when we hired him, I was like, okay, he's won a Super Bowl, but I mean that was Aaron Rodgers and Charles Woodson, all those guys on that team. So I was like, okay, he brings championship pedigree, but I didn't really want him. I actually wanted, some other guys. I think who was it that I wanted? I was looking at Urban Meyer. I was looking at Lincoln Riley. I wanted a college guy, actually, to be quite honest with you. But, McCarthy, I think this year, it's a big year for him because
he's on the hot seat.
I don't think he has a long leash. He has to do something. People are back. People are healthy. You have a full off season under you now. I'm not going to say if he doesn't do well, he's fired, but I mean, he doesn't have that much time to make things work. And we obviously know the pressure is there where Dallas, unfortunately, haven't been to the third round since, Jurassic Park was released. So, I mean, and that's the original Jurassic Park was released. So, yes, I need to see improvement here because I don't know I don't know what it's like in the locker room. Is he the voice? All those questions go into it.
For real. But moving on to Washington, what do you think about Washington? Because me personally, I think that they have top to bottom the best roster in the NFC East. But I like Dallas a little bit more because of the quarterback situations.
There's a lot of uncertainty.
I'm not the biggest fan of Ryan Fitzpatrick. Like sometimes he's like, it's kind of like an every other year thing where he's good. He was decent last year in Miami, so history would tell you that he's not going to be good this year. But just look at the rest of the roster. I love the Curtis Samuel pickup with McLaurin, Antonio Gibson. They have a lot of young guys on offense, good offensive line, and defensively, I mean, can't really get better than what they have up front. 4 first-rounders, 2 Alabama boys. I know you're an Alabama fan.
I know. It hurts me, bro. It hurts me seeing them do that stuff, man. In that uniform, oh, my gosh, bro.
I know that, and obviously Chase Young, he's one of the best young pass rushers in the NFL. And you have Montez Sweat on the other side as a bookend. Like,
yeah, a lot of people were talking about with the departure of Kerrigan, people were saying, the pressure on Chase Young might be a little too much. But like we saw in the wild card game last year, pressure don't mean nothing to him. So
yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, and I also like the pickup of Adam Humphries too, a veteran wide receiver as well. I think and Logan Thomas too. He had a breakout year last year, so I like Washington a lot. I think just like you said, they're defensively, I put them at the top of the league, maybe with the Rams as well. But like the uncertainty at quarterback is the one thing that's gonna put them behind a little bit because you got Kyle Allen, you got Heineke kind of lurking in the shadows a little bit. If Fitzmagic can pop off, then that's great. But yeah, I like this Washington team a lot.
This team reminds me of the Denver team before Peyton Manning got there. Ooh. They were like really young on defense.
They had a good defense, yeah.
Yeah, really good defense and good pass pressure. They had Demarius Thomas, Eric Decker.
Julius
They were a good all-around team, and they were just a quarterback away. I don't know why, but this team just reminds me of that Denver team, and they just need that veteran quarterback. And maybe Fitzpatrick can be that, but I think they need somebody a little bit better to really put them over the top. But I don't think Fitzpatrick has to be good necessarily, like what you said about the Dallas defense. I think he just needs to be decent, just a distributor, a game manager sort of player.
Kind of like, it just reminds me of Miami last year, Tua coming in and just the defense was able to propel them to almost playoff heights. I mean, they should have been in the playoffs, but.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's not a bad quarterback, but I always say this, like, just wait for week 8 because that's when he disappears. We're talking about Fitzmagic. Oh, magic's in the air. And then it fades away by week 8. So can he do something, throughout the whole year? Can he produce for all those 17 games? If he does do enough, then yeah, like Anu just said, like maybe they do make the playoffs because they have the team. Unfortunately, they have a nice team. Like you're looking at the defense, like you guys said, their front 7, dangerous, okay, including 2 of my Bama boys. Then you look at their offense. I mean, McLaurin, he's under the radar. A lot of people don't really mention him, but when he plays the Cowboys, I don't like it because he can play. He can play. Then the one guy that really bothered me that he went there, Curtis Samuel. I think one of you guys brought it up. I think that was one of the better signings of the offseason just because he's a Swiss Army knife. He could do multiple things for you on offense. So I'm like, he's in Washington. That will help Fitzpatrick a lot. So, I mean, when you're looking at this division, it's definitely like, in my opinion, is between Dallas, is between Washington. When you're talking about both teams, it's Dallas's defense versus Washington's offense. Whoever makes the less mistakes, like whoever doesn't make as many mistakes is going to make the playoffs. Right? Yeah. Because all Fitzpatrick has to do, hold down the fort. Don't do too much, game manage, like you guys said, and it's going to be fine for them.
That would make the right play. But then moving on to the bottom tier of the division, in my opinion, the New York Giants. We'll get to the Eagles eventually, but we won't spend too much time on them. But the Giants, they made some good additions. I think Kenny Golladay overpaid a little bit for him, but I mean, you got to do what you got to do in free agency. Kyle Rudolph, I think. Yeah, Kadarius Toney. They got him in the draft. Kyle Rudolph. Have a good little tight end tandem there now.
Yeah, he'll be a good security blanket for them.
Yeah, Saquon Barkley's coming back from injury. Huge fan of his. And then there's Daniel Jones, who I've never been a fan of personally. I don't know about you guys.
Nah, it's make or break.
Yeah, yes. He's if he doesn't pan out this year, they're drafting a quarterback next year.
He's done. He's done.
I mean, personally, they should have I remember I texted Riley about it after the draft, and I think we talked about it in our draft recap episode. They should have drafted Justin Fields.
Yep.
instead of trading the pick to
I
Chicago.
thought the Broncos should have got Justin Fields.
Yeah,
in my
too.
opinion.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's make or break for Daniel Jones. I don't think he's a franchise quarterback from just watching him his first couple of years. He just hasn't done anything to really – he hasn't flashed at all. Even when you're in a bad situation, if you're that player, you still flash at moments, even if you don't have the right talent around you. And Daniel Jones just hasn't done it. His biggest play, he tripped and fell, so just not a fan.
Amazing. Yeah, no, I agree, man. I agree. Like, I'm looking at their team. They did pretty well in free agency. I'm not going to lie. Got good parts. And then, like you said, you bring Barkley back. He's my favorite college running back ever. So, again, it hurts that he's in that uniform. But anyway, you're looking at what they could do this year. I'm just not sure if they're there with the Dallases and the Washingtons of the division. They're right behind. Their defense is getting a bit better. You still got Blake Martinez there. They did add Bradbury last year. You also have Adoree Jackson. That was a nice pickup, honestly.
Yeah.
Brings speed in the back end. But I'm not sold on them. Why? Because of what you mentioned. It's the quarterback. It's Daniel Jones. Can he get it done for you? Is he the guy? A lot of people like to, move off of quarterbacks early, which I don't like. I think you need to give quarterbacks time. Give them 1 to 2 years to really show us who you are. But he's had that time. Who are you, Daniel Jones? Are you a guy that could bring us to the playoffs? I don't know. So that's really the point of emphasis this year. How well is he going to play? If he doesn't show up, they're not going to do anything. If he does show up, they might even, contend for a wild card spot. You never know.
Yeah. And with that team too, like the way I kind of look at them, I don't look at them as a team that's going to compete, but I look at them as a team that's going to be hard to play because their defense, it has improved a lot. They started the season last year losing 7 of their first 8 games, and then they came out winning 5 of their last 8. And a lot of that was due to their defense. Like you said, Bradbury, I know he was like the 4th most valuable cornerback with via like PFF WAR, which is incredible. And adding Adoree Jackson, like you said, that's going to be that much more dangerous for that defense. So it really is up to their offense, kind of like Washington.
And up front, they have Leonard Williams, who I've always liked him, even when he was on the Jets. And their draft pick, Azeez Ojulari, I think is how you say it. I remember I wanted Atlanta to draft him on day 2. I'm a huge fan of his. He went to Georgia. I think he'll be a really good player for them this year. But then moving on to the Philadelphia Eagles, it's crazy that they won the Super Bowl 3 years ago.
I know. I never thought I'd see the day. It still bothers me that they won a Super Bowl.
But just looking at what they were 3 years ago to now, it's crazy because I don't even know if they have any starters left from that team.
Yeah, I don't think they do, honestly.
Across the board.
Maybe,
if they do, it's only a handful.
Like Ertz,
like Fletcher Cox.
But yeah, and Cox.
Yeah, Fletcher
Not
Cox.
many though.
Yeah.
Brandon Graham. Yeah. But
like it's crazy to see that sorry, go ahead.
They're in a rebuilding year. Like that's just how it is. Nick Sirianni, they hired him over Eric Bieniemy. I don't really get that, but yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what to say about Philadelphia. Like I just don't think they're a good team.
It's crazy to me that the Wentz era is over. I mean, it's cool to see that the Hurts era starts, but the one thing I like, the addition of Shane Steichen, I think it's Steichen maybe. He was the OC for the Chargers last year, looking over Herbert, and he had an incredible year. So I'm really interested to see what he can do with Hurts this year. And I really like Miles Sanders. I had him in fantasy last year. I think he'll have another great season. I had him in fantasy.
Season. I traded him to you.
He traded him to me. Yeah, thank you.
Jokes.
But Devontae Smith, I like him. I know. Being an Alabama fan, I know you're a huge fan of his. Yeah. But I think he'll be a good receiver. They just need more around him. Jalen Reagor, we'll see how he does in his second year. But what I don't like what they've done, though, is they haven't fully committed to Jalen Hurts.
It makes no sense.
You draft him in the second round,
makes no sense.
Relatively high draft pick, and now you just got rid of your starting quarterback in Wentz, but you're still not committing to him, even though you have literally nothing behind him. And I get it in a way, like you're trying to set a culture of like competition. I know the Falcons coach is doing that too with like Kyle Pitts. But when you have that guy, you have to commit to him. It's just a confidence booster for him and the rest of the team that like you have your guy in a way, even if he does flopped this year, you still had that confidence going in. I feel like that's really important for a young quarterback.
Yeah. No, the Eagles are they're a mess. They're a mess. And I love it because, if you're talking to me, the teams I hate the most in sports, Philly, number one, hate them, hate them with a passion. So I'm happy about this. I'm loving it. More, please, more. But, I do like Jalen Hurts. Obviously, he used to go to Alabama. I'm rooting for him. But yeah, like you said, like why are you making this harder than it really is? He's your starter. There's no competition. Just name him the starter. Carry on. Move forward. This team is in shambles. Howie Roseman, I don't know what he's really doing. They're flipping the team. They don't want to admit they're rebuilding, but they are. This is not even a retool, in my opinion. I think they should move off of Ertz, get yourself some draft capital, something. Because, again, the Eagles are finishing last. Let's just be real. There's not a competitor in the division. I feel for Smith because I think he's going to have a nice year. I do, but there's not much besides him. He's going to get a lot of attention. He and Sanders, honestly. But aside from that, there's not really much to say. They suck.
With drafting too, and talking about Smith, I like the pick of Smith and Landon Dickerson. The only thing I'm worried about is I think both players can be great and they have a ton of potential, very high ceilings, but I'm just worried about their health. Like, are they going to be healthy? They both had a laundry list of injuries, and I know Landon Dickerson's, I think he's hurting right now. So I'm a little bit worried about that, but I do like, obviously, Ryan, we were just talking about it. He was on the Washington. Yeah, obviously now he moves to the Eagles. That's a nice pickup. Obviously, they got Anthony Harris as well, and they addressed their need at cornerback, picking up Steven Nelson, I think, from the Steelers. So that was a big pickup. But like you guys said, like this is a transition year for them. They're rebuilding. Like you said, it certainly is not a retool. So they're going to for sure be at the bottom of the division. But like I said, there's a lot of young guys and there's a lot of good pieces to look at. And in the future, they're going to look pretty good.
So with all that being said, breaking down all four teams, we're now going to go into who we think is going to win a division. We'll start with you, Jelani. Who do you think will win the NFC East?
NFC East, Dallas. No bias.
Surprise.
No bias. But it's going to be close with Washington for sure.
Yeah. I see Dallas winning upwards of 10, 11 games at least. I think they're going to be a really good team this year. I think the defense will hold up. And Washington, I think, will be right there with them. I think they can win. I think they can win 9 games. So I think they can also scratch out 10. I think it's going to be a battle between the two. But then at the end of the day, Eagles and Giants, I just don't see them contending. I can see the Giants maybe being like an 8-9 team or 7-win team, but Eagles, I really can't see winning more than 6 games.
Yeah, I agree. I think it comes down to Dallas and Washington. And who wins the division, I think it comes down to Ryan Fitzpatrick, if he can perform, if he can be a game manager, distribute to the playmakers. I think Washington has a legit shot to win a division. But because, Dallas has the proven quarterback in Dak Prescott, I'm going to take Dallas to win the division. Washington second, Giants third, and Philadelphia in the basement.
Yep.
But moving on to general NFL, as this season is starting out in a couple weeks now, we're recording this on the Thursday before week 3 of the preseason. Who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl this year? I know it's super early. We haven't even seen any regular season action yet, but who you got winning the Super Bowl this year?
Man. So last year I had the State Farm Super Bowl. I had Packers Chiefs with the Chiefs winning. So I'm going to actually say that again. I'm going to try that again. I think that Mahomes is going to tear up this league. He's angry. He saw what happened. Well, he felt what happened in the Super Bowl, getting hit, repeatedly. But they shore up that offensive line. You still have your weaponry on offense. The defense, not bad, not too bad. You got Chris Jones, you got Honey Badger, those guys. So I believe in them. And I think that Mahomes is going to have an exceptional year. I think this is going to be his best season so far of his career. And that's saying a lot because he's come in and he's been fantastic. So I'm taking the Chiefs.
His first year.
I know, what? So I'm taking the Chiefs. Obviously, you got usual suspects like the Bills or people saying the Ravens, the Browns. Don't sleep on them. Please don't sleep on them. They're not the old Browns, okay, of the past 20 years. They're good.
Yes, sir.
Riley's a Browns fan, by the way.
Yes, shout out to Riley. Shout out to your team. they're going to be there deep in the playoffs, to be honest. But I don't see anyone beating the Chiefs right now. That's just me. Buffalo being the closest, probably. NFC, Packers. Why? Aaron Rodgers, he needs this, bro. This has been so funny. He's almost there each time, can't get over the hump. We were talking about what? Seattle, talking about Atlanta. Shout out Anuj. So you're talking about San Francisco. All these teams, he runs into them. And even that one in 2010 when he beat the Bears, he didn't play well that time. So, I'm not going to put it all on him. It's also the teams he's been with, the defenses, all that stuff, the balance here and there. But I think this is the year. You're talking about Last Dance and all that stuff. I just find it being, a team that's really hungry to get this done. And they know they could have beat Tampa Bay. They should have beat Tampa Bay. Why? Because, they made a mistake not giving Aaron Rodgers the football. I don't know why. On a fourth down, you're going to kick a field goal when the GOAT is sitting on the sideline anyway. Yeah. I just find it being the Packers' time. This is their last chance. The window obviously is going to close after this. I think Aaron's gone after this year. That's just my thoughts.
I do too.
Yeah. So with all that being put together, Matt LaFleur, he's a good coach. You have the system, you have the team. Both sides of the ball are fantastic. You've got talent all over the place. Looking at defense, you got Jair Alexander, my guy, all these guys on this team. So I'm looking at the Packers. I'm not going to, just ignore the Buccaneers. Like that team is loaded. They have the GOAT. I think that if he manages to win 8, that would be – look, 7 is ridiculous, but 8? Like, come on, man.
8 in, 21 years, 22 years?
Like, come on. This guy's still playing at a high level. So, obviously, don't be shocked if Tampa can do it. They can. But I'm gonna take Green Bay this time. And who's going to win? Give me Mahomes over the Packers in a great game. Let's say 34-27, something like that. Mahomes, MVP of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you with the Chiefs here. I'm biggest lover of Patrick Mahomes. I think he's the greatest thing we've seen in the NFL. Obviously, Aaron Donald's right there, best players in the league. But I think it's the
Jelani,
Chiefs.
We bring up Aaron Donald whenever we can. We both are obsessed with that man.
Well, he's great. I mean, he's serious. And the Rams, speaking on the Rams real quick, look, they got a good team. They could contend this year. It's all on Matthew Stafford, who, if he doesn't perform this year, he's on my fraud watch, #FraudWatch copyright. Okay, this guy needs to perform. You got the team in LA, including your guy, Aaron Donald. You look at what's around him this year, Matt Stafford, no excuses at all. But yeah, no, I see Aaron Donald.
Yeah. But yeah, I was just going to say, I have Chiefs Rams in the Super Bowl. I think I thought that Matthew Stafford is one of the more talented players that we've ever seen in the league. Obviously, at the quarterback position, I put him up there with Rodgers and Mahomes. And it is, I wouldn't say it's make or break for him, but this is his time to prove himself. Can he really be, Hall of Fame quarterback? Because the talent's there. But, obviously defensively, the Rams were the best in the league last year. I just don't think anyone can beat the Chiefs. So I easily will take the Chiefs there. But in the NFC, I like the Packers a lot too. There's really no one else I could believe in more than Aaron Rodgers. And then with the Buccaneers, I hate to say it, I've always been a huge fan of Tom Brady. I think this is the year that he slowly starts to decline, at least playoff wise. We saw it, he didn't listen. It's tough because every year people say it and you sound stupid when he ends up going deep. But I don't think he's.
I feel like it's the same thing with LeBron. You can't really say he can't do it until you see it.
Yeah,
that's true.
I'm not gonna doubt him until they flop.
But Tampa Bay is so deep. I think they'll make a long playoff run regardless if he plays well, and I think he will. I just think that it's time for Aaron Rodgers to show that he can take down Tom. And then at the end of the day, I think it's going to be a huge battle between those 3 teams, but I think it's going to be super competitive. But I'd have to go Chiefs Rams, and I'd take the Chiefs because I think Mahomes is the best player we've ever seen.
See, I agree with Riley with the Rams. I have high hopes for the Rams. I think Stafford he's finally in a situation where he has everything he needs to succeed. He has the receivers, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. They just traded for Sony Michel, who I think with Sean McVay will resemble what he was in that playoff run that he had with the Patriots when they beat the Rams in the Super Bowl. On defense, you have Aaron Donald, you have Jalen Ramsey. They lost some pieces, but I think that defense will still be a top 10 unit. So I'm going to take the Rams in the NFC. And the AFC, I've said it multiple times on this show that I think the Browns have the best roster in the NFL. So I'm gonna take the Browns.
They're serious. The Browns.
Oh
okay.
my
I'm
goodness.
gonna take the Browns to make it to the Super Bowl.
Jeez.
So we got Rams, Browns in LA. So it's gonna be in the Rams Stadium. I think the Rams are. I mean, just look at their roster. They have Odell coming back. I think he'll have a bounce back year. You obviously have Chubb and Hunt in the backfield. Jarvis Landry, Baker Mayfield. Last half of the season last year was a top quarterback. If you just look at his the way he played in his statistics, offensive line is great head coach. I mean, I feel like the way they're going all in this year, I think it's gonna work for them. And I think going to the Super Bowl 3 years in a row for the Chiefs, I wouldn't put it past them because they have Patrick Mahomes, they have Andy Reid, but it's hard, right? Yeah. It's only a matter of time before somebody knocks you off. I think the Browns are the team. So I'm going to take Rams versus the Browns. I think the Rams will win the Super Bowl, making it back-to-back years that teams will win a Super Bowl in their home stadium.
That'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That's
winning
not
a Super
bad.
Bowl in LA.
That's not
bad.
Stafford.
I think it's Stafford's time. And I think I would pick him to be the MVP too of the league.
Yeah, of the league?
Yeah.
I'm taking Mahomes.
Me as well.
I just think he's angry. I think he's angry, and he's going to just do everything in his power to get them back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just have I have high hopes for the Rams. I don't know why. I just think they're going to be really, really good this year.
I mean, they have a good team, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they have everything. Like, they have all the parts and the coach. So that's why I'm saying, like, Matt Stafford, don't get on my fraud watch. This is your time. This is your time to shine. It's not Detroit anymore. He was talking about he's tired of playing at 1 o'clock when no one cares. Okay, this is you now. You know, Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, the Rams, big stadium, all that stuff. So, and the Super Bowl is in your home place. I think this will definitely, if he plays well this year and gets them deep in the playoffs or something like that, this elevates his legacy, because a lot of people don't believe that he's that great. I think he's good. I think he's a good quarterback. He's done a lot of things in terms of stats. He has the arm and all that stuff, but it's just the wins haven't been there. The playoff production has not been there. Also due to, that trash franchise in Detroit. Sorry, Lions fans. But, I think this is his best time, his best shot. And as for the Browns, real quick, I think this is a good team. I think this is a team that people can't sleep on. I'm looking at Baker Mayfield. Can he, repeat what he did last year late? He was playing fantastic football. And let's face it, they almost beat the Chiefs in that playoff game. I know Mahomes got hurt, but still, like, they almost won that game. Do they build off of what they did last year? And OBJ, he is a candidate for comeback player of the year. I think it's going to Saquon, but he's going to be second place for me.
Not Dak?
Dak, I think, look, I'm a Cowboys fan, obviously, but I do think that I'm looking at Saquon. I think that Saquon is going to have a big year because he's going to have to do a lot for the Giants, in my opinion. Right. Obviously, Dak is going to be in the discussion too. But, yeah, so the Browns, going back to them, I think they're a serious team. Stefanski did a great job last year as head coach. So don't sleep on them. But their division is going to be tough with the Ravens, with the Steelers. I'm not going to, look past the Steelers just yet, even though Big Ben's not the same guy he used to be.
Right. So I got Rams and Browns. You got Packers, Chiefs, and Riley's got Rams and Chiefs, right?
Yes, sir.
It's gonna be super interesting. But to end off the show, we're gonna do our guest trivia. So basically, how this works is we're gonna ask you 5 questions, all based off of things that you like: athletes, teams, music. I think Riley has a movie question. And basically, we're just gonna see how well you do. Our high score.
All them wrong.
I think has that happened yet? I think Kuv got 1.
Kuv got 1.
Yeah.
Okay, gotta beat that.
I think you'll definitely.
Nobody's gotten perfect so far. The highest we've gotten is 4, which was Alyssa. But we'll start off. I'll ask question number 1. I think your favorite athlete is Allen Iverson, correct? Your favorite athlete of all time, right?
Yeah.
So you remember the practice quote, right? The infamous practice.
Yeah, it's all about practice, man.
Yeah.
Not a game.
In what? Yeah, I'm a franchise player. In what year did Allen Iverson go on his infamous practice rant? In what year?
2002.
Correct.
Hey.
Let's go. Come on,
Off
man.
the dome.
I already know because I remember. Well, obviously I was 2, but I remember that it's close to my birthday, and they always put the date on the screen. So I remember that 2002.
All right. Well, for question number 2, a little birdie told me that you're a Pittsburgh Penguins fan.
Yeah.
Sidney Crosby is my favorite athlete ever. I love the man. But the Pittsburgh Penguins obviously won a couple championships. But the question is, since 2000, how many finals appearances have the Penguins had, and which teams did they play?
Okay, so that would be 4. That would be against Detroit, and then because that was my first memory of watching NHL. Those first 2 series.
Same for
Detroit,
me.
Yep, Detroit. We beat Nashville. We beat San Jose. Fantastic, and we haven't been back since, but it's okay.
Quickly before we move on, though, what do you think about the Penguins going into this year?
I mean, I wasn't too happy about Jari last year. We're gonna have to see what happens this season. I do think there's a playoff appearance again, but it's really the goaltending. I'm really not happy about it. The past few years, honestly. So that will make or break us. I do think that we could make the playoffs go to I'll say second round. I don't know if we're making the conference championship, conference finals at all, but I do think that we still have the core. Still have Crosby, Letang, Malkin. This team isn't as good as the teams that won, obviously, but they still want to contend. So we'll see what happens this season. Hopefully, good things happen, though.
Yeah.
Moving on to question number 3. This is my hardest one. You're obviously a Cowboys fan. We've established that. But in the 90s, their glory days, the last time they were perennial Super Bowl contenders, they obviously had the triplets, Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irvin. But they also had a great offensive line, the Great Wall of Dallas, they were called. Can you name all 5 members of the Great Wall of Dallas?
Oh, man, why am I forgetting this? This is bad. This is a bad look. We had Larry Brown. No.
He wasn't part of it, no.
Why am I forgetting this?
I'll be honest with you, that was the only name that came to my mind.
No, it's because I know. Oh, man, I think I'm thinking of the late 90s teams right now.
I know they had Larry Allen, but when I looked it up, he wasn't.
They had Leon Lett. Leon Lett.
He wasn't like part of it.
Sorry. That's a
starter.
Yeah, no, that's defense. Sorry. Man. Why am I forgetting this right now? Get back to me on that. I might have to have
we'll ask that one last.
Yeah, no, you might have to mark that one wrong. Because okay. I'm like a brain fart right now. Wow. I'm brain farting right now. I think
I'll name him.
Yeah.
Nate Newton.
Nate Newton. Oh my gosh. Because I'm thinking that. Yeah.
Mark Tuanay.
Yes.
Mark Stepnoski.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. I forgot about that one.
Kevin Gogan and Eric Williams.
Yeah. Dang. I was thinking about the late 90s, 2000, like early 2000s team, like when Aikman and those guys got old. Hey, guys, I'm still a Cowboys fan. It happens to the best of us.
Have you ever watched their Football Life? The Great Wall? Yeah. It was really good.
I've seen that. It was good. It was great.
Mm-hmm. All right, so for question number 4, I did the same kind of idea with Alyssa when she was on. So if you get this right, you're right on course to tie with her. Basically, I know you like Disney movies a lot, so I'm going to explain one horribly, and you just got to try to guess what movie it was.
It's tough.
So 2 grown men abduct a child and run away from the government. Can you guess the movie?
Hold on. Hold on a minute. Abduct a child and run away from the government. Is this? Can I ask a question? Is this like a cartoon?
Yes.
Is
this a famous movie?
Very famous. We all grew up on it.
What? You were talking, and then you said something about the government, but before that, I was gonna say like Home Alone or something.
Oh yeah.
It's the 2 bad guys. Oh man. Abduct a child. That's bad. Let me say. I'll go with it's not Home Alone.
No,
I don't know that. I don't know
Disney. It's Disney.
It's a Disney. Is it Disney?
Yeah. I believe it's. Disney Pixar.
Disney Pixar. Oh man, is this like recent?
There was a recent movie, but the OG is like early 2000s.
Man, I don't have this one. No 4 points for me. Yeah, no, I don't have this one.
Monsters Inc.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. Shame. The past two questions are shame on me.
It's tough. That was the same one Alyssa got wrong. I think it was like Finding Nemo, and she answered like Aladdin or something like that.
No, it was Lion King, and she
said Finding Nemo. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what? I should have got that one.
Even after the best hint, we said Uncle Bad or Bad Uncle or something.
Oh yeah.
She still got it wrong.
Oh my gosh.
Final question. You're a huge Michael Jackson fan. What are his 3 most streamed songs on Spotify?
Oh, that's tough. Because he has like bangers. So let's say it's got to be Billie Jean. You got to be there.
Yeah.
Billie Jean's number 1, yeah. By far.
Yeah. It's funny. It's funny. I'm wearing a Michael shirt right now.
Are you?
Yeah. Billie Jean, let's say Thriller?
No. I was surprised.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't even use Spotify. I had to look it up, but like Thriller wasn't there. I'm surprised because that's.
What about The Way You Make Me Feel?
No.
I'm trying to think of the best one. You Rock My World? Trying to think of my favorite ones. That's why. Man. Okay, let's say.
There's one here that I think you'll get, and the last one I was actually very surprised.
I feel like there's got to be something from the Bad album. So let's go with Smooth Criminal. Is that there?
Yeah, that was the one I was surprised about. I thought it'd be Thriller.
Yeah, Thriller's not there. That's shock. That's a shock. And then number 3.
I think I know what it is.
Is number 3 in the 90s?
I don't know.
I think
because I want to say Remember the Time, but I don't know if that would be top 3.
It was early 80s. I'll say that.
Okay. Early 80s. So that's got to be Thriller. So that's got to be Beat It.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Got it.
Okay, I got you.
3 for 5. Yeah. That's about average. I think most of our guests have gotten 3 for 5.
I'll take that.
Honestly, I think it's above average, to be honest. I think a lot of our guests have gotten 2s.
At this point, probably.
Okay, well, again, those 2 questions that I got wrong, I'm so angry. Like, I should have got those. I'm a competitive guy. So I knew I was coming in knowing I would get 5 out of 5. Guess not, but I'm above average.
I thought you were going to get the Dallas one because I know you're a huge fan. So
yeah, man. That bothered me because I was thinking about the wrong team. That's tough.
Yeah. The Monsters Inc. one, though, like.
I know.
That one's tough.
That one, I wasn't getting that one. I was just being honest.
But I think we're going to wrap up right there. Do you have anything you want to plug before we wrap up here? Because I know you do a lot.
Yeah. So, write it down. Okay, we got Northside Talks. Follow at Northside Talks _. Don't forget the _ I got you on all the news from the major sports leagues. Always posting on the updates and stuff like that. Rumors, whatever it is. Find me at RBTL Show. Haven't done an episode in a minute, but that's my show, Read Between the Lines. Then I got my edits page, JGR Edits. You can find that on Instagram as well. Find at the PARLEH. This is a page where I'm a digital host. So we do any sport, you name it, I got you. That's at the PARLEH on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And then last but not least, we have SPORTSNET. I was glad to be there this year for an internship. So you can catch me on some of the TikTok pages, some of their videos as well. But guys, thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you for coming.
All of that will be linked down below. Thank you again for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Got you.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below, and we'll see you all next week. Take it easy.
Stay well.
Go Cowboys.